I say, not run. Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
Amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation.
With an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great.
Oleksandr Usyk responded to Floyd Mayweather's remarks by reminding fans that boxing is a sport for gentlemen, not a street fight. He emphasized that real fighters don't rely on running or empty talk, they prove themselves with skill and discipline inside the ring.
Hey, listen, boxing, it's sport and the gentleman. It's not a street fight. It's a boxing. Listen, boxing. It's a boxing. Say it again.
Do you think he was being dirty during the whole fight?
I don't have idea. I have no idea. Maybe.
Analysts have pointed out the stark contrast between Oleksandr Usyk and Floyd Mayweather. While Mayweather often projects superiority and flair, Usyk stands out for his humility and grounded nature. Despite his accomplishments, he carries himself without ego, earning respect for his quiet confidence and unwavering respect for the sport. He's proving that greatness doesn't require arrogance.
One of the best of all time. I know a lot of people are kind of probably going to hear me say that and say, you're going too far, you're this, that. Because I've seen that straight away. As soon as Usyk did that, he's 2-time undisputed heavyweight, 1-time cruiserweight, 3-time undisputed. His resume, yes, look, at heavyweight, it's a lot of rematches. Just the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's not just, okay, he could have 10 world... Deontay Wilder has 10 world title defenses.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury are the only ones you really have any kind of weight to them. Usyk is taking on the perceived either number 1 or number 2 of these defenses.
Yeah.
Fury perceived number 1. AJ at the time, 1. Dubois, number 2. He's taking, like, right, who's the next in line? Right, I'm fighting him.
Yeah.
That's the way he's doing it.
And he's doing it in a way in which is so beautiful to watch.
Derek Chisora has openly praised Oleksandr Usyk's extraordinary mindset and boxing ability. He described Usyk as mentally tough, intensely focused, and remarkably disciplined. Chisora even joked that to beat someone like Usyk, you'd have to be crazy, reflecting how difficult and frustrating it is to face him in the ring. He applauded Usyk's footwork, ring IQ, and unshakable composure, calling him a true master of the craft. Friendly outside the ring, Usyk transforms into a relentless force once the bell rings.
Listen, what I'm saying is this. To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally stable, man. Yeah?
You have to be mentally
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Or to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple months ago,
Yeah.
at the coffee with this chair, the guy lives in Ukraine.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then his missus was laying over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I said, I'll just go to sleep. Craziness, I mean, like, can you imagine you now, you're in your house in Barnet, Timbuktu, and then Mrs. Ghana. You're gonna be like,
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
yes, exactly. So, and then remember, so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side because he's looking to go to the other side. Man, can you do us a favor? Can you stop beating us up?
Derek Chisora went further, comparing Usyk to Muhammad Ali. He praised Usyk's exceptional footwork, precise timing, and high ring IQ, remarking on how rare it is to see a heavyweight move with such fluidity and grace. Chisora emphasized that Usyk doesn't rely on brute strength but outsmarts his opponents through finesse and strategy. His cool confidence and intelligent style, according to Chisora, echo the magic of Ali. Watching Usyk, he said, is like witnessing poetry in motion, a refreshing throwback to boxing's golden era.
Everybody gets it wrong. You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? You can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, forget good, he's amazing. Yeah, he's great, he's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit where he's due. Yeah? He is that guy.
Veteran promoter Eddie Hearn added his voice to the growing admiration for Usyk, calling him a once-in-a-generation fighter. Hearn, who has worked with many elite boxers, described Usyk as one of the most gifted technicians the sport has seen in decades. Usyk's flawless transition from cruiserweight to heavyweight while maintaining his speed, timing, and composure has astonished even the most seasoned observers. Hearn's praise reflects how profoundly Usyk is redefining what's possible in the modern heavyweight division.
Just, you're talking about one of the great generational. I watched the first 2 rounds. Dubois looked really dangerous. Came out, backed him up, and then Usyk just decided, I can't allow him to back me up, so I'm going to go on the front foot and box aggressive here. And he knocked him spark out. Unbelievable. Just a true generational great.
Following his latest dominant showing, analysts now rank Usyk among boxing's all-time greats, placing him as the 4th greatest fighter in history. It's a rare distinction, especially for an active boxer. This recognition is not just about wins, but the quality of his opponents, the precision of his victories, and his consistent excellence across weight divisions. Defeating elite fighters on their home turf has further solidified his legacy. Usyk's greatness is no longer a bold opinion, it's a data-backed reality. Oleksandr Usyk represents more than championships, he embodies technical mastery and tactical genius. Outside the ring, he is calm and understated. Inside, he's sharp, precise, and deadly. He doesn't chase headlines, pick fights in the media, or seek attention. Instead, he lets his skills do the talking, proving that in a sport often dominated by bravado, true greatness still lies in mastery, humility, and performance.
Now what's yours, Jerry? What's yours?
Oleksandr is the 4th greatest fighter on my personal all-time list.
Wow.
It's number 4. He's only behind Ali.
Oh, on your all-time list?
All time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only behind Floyd, Ali, and Manny. So, I'm really high on Oleksandr.
Oleksandr Usyk's resume speaks for itself. He has systematically dismantled both world champions and rising contenders, and his recent victory over Daniel Dubois only cemented that legacy. Despite Dubois' size and punching power, Usyk neutralized the threat with tactical brilliance. Yet, even in dominance, Usyk remains humble, never calling himself the greatest, even as the world begins to suggest it. In an era where ego often overshadows achievement, Usyk's quiet confidence stands as a rare and refreshing trait.
The WBO, Frank Warner very close, Joseph Parker is obviously a Queensberry fighter, so there could be potential that they do what they did with this fight, what they did with the Dubois fight. It also means as well that, and maybe this is why, potentially it's because Riyadh season shows from November onwards, and I doubt we'll see Oleksandr Usyk in the ring this year because it's only July, but he's only fought, and I would imagine Usyk is going to be one of these 6 to 8 month type of guys. That's the way he's been over the last 2 years. So you're looking probably February next year at the earliest when he finally fights again. So for me, it's like, right, that will be after the Riyadh and Ring Magazine's pay-per-views end, as in they're not going to be doing pay-per-view anymore. Maybe they look at that fight and think, Usyk Parker, it's a fight that, with the greatest respect, Oleksandr Usyk is a very big name. It maybe does need that pay-per-view wall behind it in order to facilitate the purses that they could potentially forking out for it. So maybe that's why Riyadh season won't do it. Now, the Zone obviously have not ruled out pay-per-views, they're still going to do pay-per-views.
What sets Usyk apart is that the praise he receives isn't confined to his generation. Fans, former champions, and analysts increasingly place him alongside boxing's all-time greats. He's not just the best of the moment, he's being recognized as one of the best ever. His historic achievements, including becoming undisputed in multiple weight classes and defeating elite opponents at their peak, are already being studied as examples of boxing excellence. Usyk's legacy isn't just being built, it's already firmly in place.
It was sort of broken up in different directions. Even I wasn't sure because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age and whatnot, So you could get where all of a sudden, it's not there on the night. So, and you had
and heavyweights takes 1 second, one split second off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Dubois to add to that second, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But, Usyk, flawless performance technically. You know, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs, making things uncomfortable for Dubois rhythm-wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he slides that weak side, slides that weak side. This was different.
I think with Dubois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag in that you got to kind of bully the bully. You know, and Dubois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because he started backing him up. He started putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself, and Dubois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Dubois. I don't know who he is, but
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walks right by Usyk's celebration as if he didn't just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali. Remember, he walks right to his corner.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, you could have got out. You waited to 10, and then
he was a beaten man.
You waited to 10, and then not only you get up, you don't even have the presence of mind to realize, like, I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
Paulie, he was a beaten man before the first knockdown.
A rising debate in boxing circles questions whether Usyk has surpassed legends like Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather in pure boxing skill. While Ali was iconic and Mayweather undefeated, critics point out that Mayweather's level of opposition during his prime doesn't quite match Usyk's. Unlike Floyd, who often leaned on defense and brand building, Usyk has built his legacy on raw talent, fearlessness, and an unrelenting willingness to face the toughest challenges available.
He tried to jab, he tried to throw that right hand, and he landed that right hand a couple of times, by the way. He got Oleksandr Usyk in the corner, and he was trying to work. But ultimately, he's in there with an all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great since boxing began. Since boxing began, people. Understand what we're watching here. We're not watching a generational great. We're watching an all-time great. That's what Daniel Dubois was in there with. There is a discussion in my brain right now as I'm talking to you about where Oleksandr Usyk is when it comes to the best heavyweights of all time. Like, in my head right now, I'm thinking, who beats him?
Renowned trainer Ben Davidson added his voice to the chorus of praise for Usyk. Davidson highlighted Usyk's rare achievement of conquering both the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, becoming undisputed in one and unified in the other. This speaks to a level of adaptability and technical mastery that few in history have reached. Coming from a trainer who studies the sport in granular detail, Davidson's endorsement reinforces the idea that Usyk belongs in the conversation with the sport's all-time greats.
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought of Usyk's performance, where he ranks on the all-time list. I know, everybody was big into their nostalgia, but remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era of fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, man, it's hard to pick against Ali being the GOAT.
Usyk's journey to the top has been anything but easy. He never padded his record with easy fights or waited for ideal conditions. From early in his career, he sought out the toughest opponents, often traveling into hostile territory to face them. Whether fighting unbeaten champions or crowd favorites, Usyk chose risk over comfort. This mindset has earned him widespread respect. In an era where many protect their records, Usyk has proven that greatness comes through struggle, and he has embraced that fully.
It makes it obviously another thing for you, but
really a good time for me to talk about that sort of thing. So,
besides just how good is Oleksandr Usyk? We've seen him now come into the heavyweight division, fight a Derek Chisora, fight Anthony Joshua twice, fight Tyson Fury twice, and he's the undisputed heavyweight. No, he was until obviously the belt let go. But what do you make of him as a fighter? Just sum him up, special fighter.
Yeah, he put himself in the mix to be. He put himself in the mix as one of the greatest heavyweights he's ever been. So, undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, amazing.
Boxing analyst Dave Coldwell emphasized the unique aspects of Usyk's fighting style. In a division dominated by explosive power, Usyk stands out for his steady work rate and surgical accuracy. He doesn't give his opponents time to rest or reset. Instead, he controls the tempo with relentless precision, chipping away with body shots and well-timed combinations. According to Coldwell, this consistent pressure makes Usyk one of the most difficult heavyweights to face.
Usyk has dropped Daniel Dubois!
I'm sorry. I can't help it, man. I fucking love this. Honestly, I fucking love this game.
He's missed it! It's over!
Fuck me. I'm sorry for going on like a lunatic, right? But it was unbelievable. And it's funny how this fight all came about, right? The controversy in the last fight, which for me was never controversial. It was a low blow, simple as that. And I don't think we've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk ever look for an easy way to win. In fact, I think of all the fighters on planet Earth, he is the one who takes the hardest road to win. There's no tune-up fights for Oleksandr Usyk. It's the biggest fight in a heavier weight than he should even be fighting at, and he makes life harder for himself, not easier. And I think he has proven his character time and time again. But yet he was accused of not being, you know, a real Christian because he was a cheat. He was accused of deserving an Oscar because he was a play actor and robbing Daniel Dubois of what should have rightfully been his, which was a world title. And after the Tyson Fury fight, Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring and called him out, and Oleksandr Usyk immediately turns to Turki Al-Sheikh and says, Mr. Excellency, make the fight. He had no problem in setting this up, and immediately you kind of think he was in the middle of talking about his, you know, his father. I think at the time it was an emotional moment. That's a time where when you've accomplished what he's done, you deserve respect, and I think he was disrespected there, and I think he took that personally, in the words of Michael Jordan. Now in the first round, Oleksandr Usyk did exactly what he needed to do to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois coming in with a load of confidence, wanting to be the aggressor, wanting to be the dominant bull that he was against Anthony Joshua.
Former world champion and analyst Paulie Malignaggi described Usyk's recent performance as a technical masterclass. He was particularly impressed by Usyk's movement, balance, and use of angles, tools that allowed him to inflict damage while staying virtually untouched. Malignaggi highlighted Usyk's elite ring IQ, flawless footwork, and impeccable timing, calling it one of the cleanest technical displays in modern heavyweight boxing.
Pick up the pace, and you just still can't go with it. It takes, you know, it does have an effect. But what I'm trying to say is, Usyk's work to the body, the volume of body punches. I'd like to see the stats on body punching, be it straights, be it a jab, be it backhands, whatever. Because Usyk's volume of body work is what I thought was the difference in the fight. His lead hand activity was probably the best it's been since he's been at heavyweight, maybe. I thought he took away, you know, we were all talking about the Fury right uppercut going into the fight because he had a lot of success. We were all talking about what Tyson's going to do. You know, I said, Usyk's clever. These people, they're going to look at that and see what they can do better.
According to commentator Roos, Usyk stepped into the ring recently with a quiet determination. Despite his incredible accomplishments, some voices, especially from British media and segments of the fanbase, continued to downplay his legacy. That sense of being overlooked fueled Usyk's performance. He wasn't just there to win, he wanted to make a statement. With intensity and focus, he reminded the world that he's not only a champion, but a generational talent who deserves full recognition.
Dubois in the rematch stops him early. Was it 4 or 5? I don't even. I'm so caught up in the moment. I don't even know which round it was. It was 4 or 5, but man, it was in the first half of the fight. What a performance by Oleksandr Usyk, and a lot to discuss here, guys. A lot to break down here. First off, you know, Dubois much more successful in the first fight than the second fight. Was the wet ring? Did the wet ring have anything to do with it? I saw in the post-fight interview, Dubois was asked about why he couldn't land his jab. What do you guys think? Was obviously Usyk's gonna make some adjustments. I think the adjustments are gonna be made in rematches. But did the wet ring? Because I thought the wet ring had a big part to do with why Usyk had some trouble in that first fight. And you know, a wet ring hurts footwork guys more. I was a footwork guy. I've worked out sometimes in wet rings. It's frustrating. I've actually thrown temper tantrums in gyms over rings being too wet. So you know, I mean, back in the day, not now.
But what I'm saying is, you know, to fight in a wet ring, that had to have some effect on Usyk and his footwork, because he's a footwork guy. And tonight you just saw his footwork was stupendous, magnificent.
I think he went out there with bad intentions, didn't he? I think he was on a mission to prove that, you know, 38 isn't old yet. And I was talking to some other guys, including Richie Woodall, and saying that, you know, like, he's gotten better. If you look at his last 3 fights, the first Fury fight, second Fury fight, and this one, each one has gotten better, you know, more dominating each time. So, you know, age is a number, I guess. When you're in the gym all the time, it takes a long time to age.
When we spoke on Thursday, I could tell you were genuinely confident, but did you believe it could be so early and so conclusive?
No, I'd be lying to you if I said that, you know. I mean, no, I thought it could be dominating. I thought he was doing the things that I think Dubois did, what I expected him to do, and Usyk did what I expected him to do. You know, he controlled, moved, waited, but then he started landing hard.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.